Yes. Now, speaking about Singapore Airlines Limited, um, now it is one of the five-star airline. This particular company it operates the world's longest non-stop commercial flight, which flies from Singapore to Los Angeles and New York and other trans-Pacific flights, and also provides passengers service across more than 30 countries. Now, this particular company, it is strategically very well managed. And its diversified business, it includes aircraft handling and engineering. And Singapore Airline Limited, it also owns Silk Air. Now, this particular company is an airline company which oversees, regional flights catering to small capacity requirements in secondary cities, and also it owns Tiger Air, which is a low-fare airline that serves 37 destinations across 12 countries. In Asia, Silk Air it helps passengers travel in over 30 cities. The company is the official sponsor of Singapore's national football team and has continued to market the iconic Singapore girl, a prominent element that depicts the flight attendants of the airline and is pegged as the central image of the particular brand. And Singapore Airlines Limited, it was acknowledged as the best Asian airline in the Business Travel Awards of 2014. Now, according to a survey which was done by Fortune in 2015, Singapore Airlines Limited was ranked as the best international airline for business travel and best customer service. The airline has often ranked as one of the most admired company in the world outside the United States. Now, apart from being acknowledged for their service and efficient operation, SIA has also been recommended for SIA's 2014-15 annual report reveals that the company carried 18,737 passengers that fiscal year, up from 18,628 the previous year, and it had a revenue of 15,566 million US dollars, up from 15,244 million US dollars the prior year. In their 2014-15 annual report, the company reported net profit of 368 million US dollar, up from 359 million US dollar the prior year. In July 2015, Singapore Airlines reported that its net profit in the first quarter was twice the amount made in the previous year due to lower oil price, hence lower fuel expense for the airline. The airline saw a net profit of SDG 91.2 million US dollars and up 162% from the same period in the previous year. Now, in July 2015, all talks about acquiring a stake in South Korea's Jeju Air had ended. Instead, SIA chose to respond to budget airlines, which were a bigger threat for SIA with their increasing market share in the Southeast Asia. Now, by focusing on expanding in Australia, Thailand, and India, an investment in Jeju Air would have given it more access in North Asia, including China. Now, in this case study, what they try to tell you all that now there might be different alternatives what a company go in for, and there might also be certain cases wherein the experts would suggest the company to go on in a particular V. Now, in case of SIA, it had been advised to take over Jeju Airlines. But then what it did was it went on expanding its own strategies. So, strategic management is not always only about data, facts, information, and what experts might suggest the company. But sometimes strategic management can also be intuition of the company or what the company thinks best for it, keeping aside all the data facts entirely. So, strategic management, once again, I would like to tell is that it need not be only the quantitative analysis of something. It is always better. Yes, there are quantitative techniques, but then the company should know what best it or how best can it do, even keeping aside all these data facts. Or it should have the ability to take a risk for itself, or it should have the ability to go beyond what has been suggested for it. Now, speaking about all these things, so once again, what I would like to tell is that, uh, okay, before we start speaking in definite, defined way what strategic management is all about, there is a small story which can make you all understand better what this managing with strategy all about. You know, just take into consideration that there were two companies. Okay. Now, these two companies are such that which competed with one another in the same industry. And these two were something like market leaders in that particular industry. So, if we speak in terms of strength, both companies were equal. So, these two companies they decided to go on campaigning trip to discuss if there are any possibilities that both the companies could be merged. Now they hiked deep into the woods. Suddenly, what happened was they came upon a grizzly bear, and that rose upon its hind legs and snarled. Now, instantly, the first president took off his knapsack and got out of a pair of jogging shoes. And suddenly, the second president said, "Hey, you cannot outrun that bear." The first president responded, "Maybe I cannot outrun that bear, but I surely can outrun you." So, this particular story captures the notion of strategic management, which is to gain and sustain competitive advantage. So, what was the story all about? Now, the story said that there were two companies. Those two companies were equal in the strength, and those two companies were having the highest share of market share. And in doing business, once they decided to have a meeting or to check, you know, they had a meeting whether there are any possibility to have merger. Now, in that case, here they have mentioned that they went on for hiking. Hiking is nothing but the act of walking up the hill is called as hiking. Here they have said it in terms of story. So, in the while they were on their campaign, what happened was they had to face a bear. Now that bear suddenly snarled at these two CEOs or presidents. What that means is, in actual scenario, when these two companies decided to merge, they faced with a big problem that was posed by their business environment. In that case, what happened was, one of the president, he removed his shoe and started running. And when the other president saw this act, he just shouted that there is no chance that you can, you know, leave behind the bear and run faster than it. So the first president who started running, he shouts back that definitely, yes, I cannot outrun it, but I can definitely outrun you. What that means is, when these two were faced with the problem, one of the president, he came out of this proposal of merging and started to walk all by himself. And the other person tells that you possibly cannot do it, or you possibly cannot face the problem all alone. And the president who walked out of the merger, he is telling that definitely I may not be able to walk off it, but I will be such that whatever position I am, I shall be better than that of yours. Now, this is all about competitive strategy that we speak about in strategic management, or competitive advantage, what we call it as. Now, the other way of seeing this strategic management is, we can see it as, uh, those who ever want can take it down. Now, strategic management, it is the art, not only art, it is the art and science of formulating, implementing, and evaluating. Now, strategic management is the art and science of formulating, implementing, and evaluating cross-functional decisions that enables an organization that enables an organization to achieve its objectives. Now, if we closely observe this particular definition, where we tell that strategic management is both art and science. Now, science is what we call as the principle or the basic guidelines which explains a particular discipline of knowledge. Now, it is an art because it would have to be performed continuously, and along with that, there shall always be a continuous growth in the skills that we have, the knowledge that we have, and the experience that we have. That's why strategic management is both science and art. Now, it is a science of formulating, that is, coming up with new ideas. Once you come up, you implement it. Implementing is turning the plan on the paper into workable action. Now, once after implementing, it has to be continuously analyzed or evaluated. That is to tell, it has to be continuously checked whether whatever strategy was formulated and implemented, it is according to the plan, or is there any kind of changes necessary. And also, earlier, when we speak about evaluation, this would have been enough. But now, the business environment is so dynamic that according to the changes according to what changes happens in the business environment, all such changes are to be taken into consideration and evaluated along with the implemented strategy. And if it calls for any change, all such changes are also to be implemented. And they have continued further telling that it is the science of formulating, implementing, and evaluating cross functional decision. Now, the decision will not be of one particular set of activity, or it will not belong to one particular set of department or one particular way of doing business. It shall include all the functional decision from various departments, from various operations of the business. Now, all such cross functional decisions will enable the organization to achieve its objective. Now, with this definition, it implies that strategic management it focuses on integrating some of the aspects of the business, integrating or bringing together some of the aspects such as marketing, finance, accounting, production, operation, research and development, and also information system so that organization can achieve its goal successfully. Now, there are a lot of time where this strategic planning can be used synonymously with that of strategic management. Okay. Now, strategic planning is the word which is usually used in business world, whereas strategic management is the word that is being used in academics. Now, sometimes strategic management it is used to refer strategy formulation, implementation, and evaluation. And there are also chances that when we tell strategic planning, it refers only strategy formulation. But whatever the ifs and buts are, the purpose of strategic management is to exploit and create new and different opportunity for the business in the coming future. Whereas now you might have a confusion whether strategic management and long range planning are one and the same. Now, what long range planning does is that it tries to optimize for tomorrow the trends of today. But strategic management is we are doing everything for the coming future. Now, speaking about this strategic planning and strategic management. Now, as word, this as a word, this particular strategic planning, it was originated in 1950s, and this particular word was popular between 1915 to that of mid 1960s and mid 1970s. Now, during these years, strategic planning was widely believed to be the answer for all the business problems. And during that time, much of corporate, especially during that time, most of the corporate companies were in America. And those people, they were obsessed with strategic planning. Following that boom, however, This strategic planning was cast aside or put down during the 1980s as various planning that was spoken under strategic planning did not yield higher returns. But then in 1990s, however, strategic planning brought the revival of its importance, and the process is widely practiced today in the business world. Now, if we see, there are many companies, they have a job what is called as chief strategy officer. So, this a strategic plan is the essence of a company's game plan. If we have to give an example, now just how a football team needs a good game plan to have a chance for winning, a company also should have a good strategic planning to compete successfully in the business or in industry. Now, why that is important? Because competitions are so huge that profit margins among firms in most of the industries are so slim that there is little room for error in the overall strategic plan. A strategic plan results from tough managerial choice among numerous good alternatives, and it signals commitment to specific markets, policies, procedures, and operations in lieu of other or less desirable course of action. The term strategic management uh, is used in many colleges and universities. We can take the best example of our subject itself. They use it as the title for the capstone course that is included in business administration. So, this strategic management integrates materials from all business courses and in addition introduces new strategic management concepts and techniques which are being widely used by firms in making strategic planning. Now, as you can see in the PPT, this strategic management, it includes three stages, that is strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation. So, this we can tell it as three different stages also. Now, those who need a explanation, you can take down. Now, first of all, we shall speak about this strategy formulation. So, what is this strategy formulation all about? What does it include? Now, speaking about strategy formulation, it includes developing a vision and a mission at the base. Now, I'm sure you know what is vision, what is mission. Now, vision is what a business or how a business sees itself in the long run, or ultimately what it wants to become is the vision of the company. How does it sees itself? See vision. So you can probably never forget this. Vision is how does the company wants itself to be ultimately is vision. Now, mission are all those things that a company does so that it can make its vision come true. So, strategic formulation includes developing vision and mission and also identifying an organization's external opportunities and the threats that are there, and also determining the internal strength and weaknesses. It includes establishing long term objectives of the company. It has the work of generating alternative strategies and also choosing particular strategies to continue with. So the strategy formulation issues, you know, include things like deciding what kind of new business can the firm enter into. Is there any kind of business that the organization has to abandon so that it can cut costs, or is there any opportunity to expand operations, or can the company diversify, whether the company can enter international markets, whether the company has to merge, or whether it has to go on with joint venture, and how to avoid hostile takeover if any. Now all this shall be included under a strategy formulation. Now, why does a company includes all these things, or why does it consider all such matters that affects its survival when they have to do strategy formulation? The one main reason is there is no any organization which has unlimited resources. So strategists, they must decide which alternative strategies will benefit the company the most. So strategy formulation decision, it usually commits an organization to one specific product or to specific products, markets, resources and technology, over an extended period of time. So these strategy, they determine long term competitive advantage. It could be for better or worse, but strategic decision have always major multifunctional consequences and also enduring effects on organization. So top managers should have the best perspective to understand fully this strategy formulation decision. They have the authority to commit the resource, and also, you know, which are necessary for implementation of such strategy. So this is all about strategy formulation, where you take into consideration especially the key result areas of your company. How are they going to affect your business organization? Both which are internal to the organization and which are external to the organization. With the particular reason that now, instead of telling no company has unlimited resources, we can just change the sentence, and this is how practically it is. Now, those who do not agree, you can always raise your voice. But for any business organization, it is they have all the resources in a limited way. Now, yes, we have heard a lot of time no organization has unlimited resources. Instead of telling that, we can accept what it is. All the resources that the company has is limited in number. It can be financial resources. There is a limit up until what you can have. Now, if it is human factors, there is limit how much employees you are able to, give employment for. So all the resources the company has in its hand is limited in nature. So you'll have to use it in the best possible way. So that is what is included under strategy formulation. Now once after the strategy is formulated, then comes strategy implementation. I hope I am not going too fast. If I am too fast, or if at all there are anything that you want a repetition of, please do let me know so that I would repeat it and you can take down it. Now that is necessary because this term I will not be providing you with study material. Textbooks I shall circulate, yes. PPTs shall be given, but there is no much thing in the PPT. So, you people taking down is better. And second thing, it will also help you all to engage yourself in the class and not to sleep off in between. Okay, now speaking about strategy implementation. Now, what is this particular stage of strategic management asks for? Now, strategy implement, it requires a company to come up with its annual objective. Um, its annual objective, its device policies, how will it motivate employees, and how will it allocate resources so that all the formulated strategies can be executed in the business. So, the strategy implementation, it includes developing a strategy supportive culture. That is, the way of doing business shall always be based on the strategy that it has considered to be the best for the organization. Now, it also, you know, includes creating an effective organization structure, redirecting market efforts maybe, or maybe preparing budgets, developing and using the information system in the business, and also linking employee compensation to organizational performance. All these are included under strategy implementation. So, this particular stage of strategy implementation, it is called as action stage. So, you can put it in inverted comma, action stage. Strategy implementation is nothing but action stage. Action stage of what? Strategy implementation is action stage of strategic management. Now, this implementing or implementation. So, implementing strategy means you'll have to, it means mobilizing employees and managers to put formulated strategy into action. Now, this is that particular stage which is considered to be the most difficult stage in the strategic management, because strategy implementation, it requires personal discipline, commitment, and also sacrifice from the part of those who are implementing it. So, successful strategy implement it usually is backed upon the manager's ability to motivate his employees. So, it is more of an art than a science. So, strategies formulated but not implemented will never serve any useful purpose. So, in this particular stage or strategy implementation, interpersonal skills are especially critical for successful strategy implementation. So, strategy implementation activities affect all employees and managers in the organization. So, every decision, every division, and every department must decide on answer as to what must we do to implement our part of organizational strategy and how best can we get the job done. We can put it in this way. You all as a class had organized the management fest. Now, you people were divided into different activities. Some in some as the heads of some of the events, others into other department. But each one thought on your best as to how best can you do the work that has been given to you. And that's when there was one of the best management fest that we had. So the same way when it comes for business organization, in this particular action stage or in this stage which is considered to be the most difficult in strategic management, each department should have to ask itself how best can we do the work that has been given to us, and they should have the ability and also the resource should be allocated to them so that they can answer this particular question in the best way possible. So the challenge of implementation is to always stimulate managers and employees throughout an organization to work with enthusiasm, to work with pride towards achieving strategic objectives. So this is all about strategy implementation. So now you can see it in a better way, isn't it? Strategic management includes all those area of knowledge that you had studied in your last three semesters. We speak about strategies, we speak about human behavior, we speak about employee relation, we speak about human intention. Everything is included in strategy management. We speak about competitors, the external opportunities, the threat that the business has to face. So that is where strategic management becomes so much important for a manager or the head of a organization. So once done with strategic implementation, the later stage is strategy evaluation. So what is this strategy evaluation? So this strategy evaluation, it is the final stage in strategic management. That is, here the managers or those who have implemented the strategy, they desperately need to know when particular strategies are not working well. This is where strategic evaluation helps. So strategy evaluation is the primary means for obtaining this information as to where it is not working properly. So all strategies are subject to future modification because external and internal factors in the business con constantly change. So change is the only thing which doesn't change when it comes to this business environment. So there are three fundamental strategy evaluation activities. Now speaking about strategy evaluation, there are three fundamental strategy evaluation activities. The first one is reviewing external and internal factors. The first one is reviewing external and internal factors that are the basis for current strategies. I shall repeat the first one once again. It is reviewing external and internal factors that are the basis for current strategies. Second one is measuring performance. Second one is measuring performance. And the third one is taking taking corrective taking corrective actions. Now speaking about this, strategy evaluation is necessary because success today is no guarantee of success to tomorrow. Today you might be successful, but will this successfulness stays for tomorrow? Now there is no guarantee for that in business. So success always creates new and different problems. Complacent organization experiences demise. So formulation, implementation and evaluation of strategy activities occur in three hierarchical levels when it comes to a large organization or corporate, divisional or strategic business unit and functional business unit. Now, here we are speaking about levels of management. So, by fostering communication and interaction among managers and also employees across all the hierarchical levels, strategic management helps a firm function as one big competitive team. So most small business and some large business do not have division or strategic business units. So they have only the corporate and functional levels. But whatever case may be, managers and employees at these two levels should be actively involved in all strategic management activity. So we can take words of Peter Drucker. Now, Peter Drucker says that the primary task of strategic management is thinking through the overall mission of business. He says the primary task of strategic management is thinking through the overall mission of a business. That is, importantly, it means or it implies to ask the question as to what is our business. Now this might be the most simple question a business has as to what is our business. But in this, it includes everything the business is, what it is not, what its strengths are, where does it has any kind of weakness. So this leads to the setting of objectives. This leads to the development of strategies and the making of today's decision for tomorrow's result. So this clearly must be done by a part of the organization that is able to see the entire business. Not only that, it can balance objectives and the needs of today against the needs of tomorrow, and that can allow resources of men and money to key results. So I hope now you have got an idea of strategic management. So you already knew what it was, but a little further explanation I tried to give. So it is integration of every discipline of knowledge that is concerned to business. Now, in brief, for 5 more minutes, we shall speak about integrating intuition and analysis. Now, what is this intuition, or why we have to speak about this intuition and analysis? Uh, Now, throughout your course, now we have studied subjects, or let us take our the first paper that you had in your first semester, the principle of management. Now there we discussed regarding the classical. Okay, let us not go into that. We had discussed how business used to be in the early 1900s or 1920s, and how is it today. So the one thing that we saw was earlier managers were born. That is to tell out of their experience, because of their skill, because of their intuition, they used to analyze the problem and used to take decision. And after that, because of the rise of the competition and because of the number of people doing the same things, and with technology improving, with the information technology improving, the things have changed such that intuition were given little less space. That is, art was being replaced by science. So you had to take decision based on what data you have, what information that we have. Based on that, we used to take decision. So why are we now speaking once again about this intuition and analysis? Now there is a person called as Edward Deming. Now in one of his interview he said that in God we trust, all others bring data. So the strategic management process can be described, as an objective, logic, systematic approach for making major decision in an organization. Now, the strategic management, it attempts to organize qualitative and also quantitative information in a way that allows effective decision to be made under conditions of uncertainty. Yet strategic management is not a pure science, which lends itself to a nice, neat 1, 2, 3 step procedures. So, based on past experience, judgment, and feelings, most people recognize that intuition is essential to making good strategic decision. Now, intuition is particularly useful for making decision in situations of great uncertainty or little precedent. Now, it is also helpful when highly interrelated variables exist or when it is necessary to choose, especially from several possible alternatives. Now, there are many, examples where we can see that, you know, these managers and owners of business, they profess to have extraordinary abilities for using intuitions alone in coming up with brilliant strategies for their management. So now one such example is of Will Durant. Now he was the person who, he who used to organize GM. He is being described by one of the person called as Alfred Sloan as, that Will Durant was such a person that who would proceed on a course of action guided solely as far as he could tell by some intuitive flash of brilliance. Now, he never felt obliged to make an engineering hunt for the facts. Yet, at times, he was astonishingly correct in his judgment. Now, this is one more point where we can tell that strategic management is both science and art. Or strategic management definitely is a science, but it is not exact science. Yes, it is objective, but then there are some subjective things that are comes along. Now, it is not only in business, we can also see in the field of science how this intuition is being given importance as. Now, we can take the instance of Albert Einstein. So, he acknowledged the importance of intuition with the following with the following words. I quote, I believe in intuition and inspiration. At times, I feel certain that I am right while not knowing the reason. Imagination is more important than knowledge because knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world. Now, these words of Albert Einstein simply tells that yes, you have logic, you have reason, but when it is logic, when it is reason, your knowledge shall only be limited to those logics and reasons. But whereas intuition, it is not bound to any limitation. It can encompass the entire world. Now that is nothing but in simple way if we have to tell. Yes, business are always faced with one kind of problems or others. You have techniques to solve them. But then there are also some instances, some chances where you can think out of box, which might look very stupid at the beginning, but might be a brilliant idea when it is put into action. Now, although some organization today may survive and prosper because they have intuitive geniuses managing them, many are not so fortunate. So, most organization can benefit from strategic management, which is based on integrating intuition and analysis in decision making. So, choosing an intuitive or analytical approach to decision making is not an either or proposition. Managers at all levels in an organization inject their intuition and judgment into strategic management analysis. So, analytical thinking and intuitive thinking complement one another. So, operating from the I have already made up my mind to don't bother me with the facts mode is not management by intuition. It is management by ignorance. That is where Drucker says, I quote, I believe in intuition only if you discipline it. Hunch artists who make a diagnosis but do not check it out with the facts are the ones in medicine who kill people and in management kill business. This is what Peter Drucker said. So the accelerating rate of change today in producing a business world in which customary managerial habit in organization are increasingly inadequate. Experience alone was an adequate guide when changes could be made in small increments. But intuitive and experience based management philosophies are, grossly inadequate when decisions are strategic and will have much irreversible consequences. So, in this sense, the strategic management process is an attempt to duplicate what goes on in the mind of a brilliant, intuitive person who knows the business and assimilates and integrates that knowledge using analysis to formulate effective strategies. So, this is how the intuition is brought in together in the strategic management. So,